Having gone through, and if anybody has been living under a rock, Gawker was sued by Hulk Hogan. Peter Thiel funded the case, and the end result was the shuttering of Gawker. I was saying in the green room that this was an unbelievable, truly unbelievable parallel to what has happened in the world since then, and how the First Amendment is now being, shall we say, challenged by the incoming administration. So I just have to ask you to talk about that experience. You disrupted everyone else by bringing the comments and the sharing and the conversation, as you said, together. And then it kind of backfired. What was that like, and what lessons are there for the rest of us?
It was an extraordinary experience and a wild ride. I've been at the company for just under 4 years, but really the last 2 years were focused on this very large litigation that was getting larger and backed by a billionaire with a significant grudge against the company. It had the negative effect of eventually forcing us to shutter Gawker. I think some positive effects in the world. I think it put this issue really to the forefront before Trump ever did, that the First Amendment is strong in this country, but can come under assault by really powerful people who don't like the reporting on them. Gawker was one of the companies that pointed out that this particular billionaire, is supposed to have the golden touch, but maybe there's what we call story behind that story. Maybe there's more to this person who has incredible influence on a lot of people's lives. And so that's the lesson in it. As far as the experience itself, it was an incredible management experience. I had to stand in front of the entire company one day and say, in 10 minutes, we're going to put this company into bankruptcy. And I'm asking all of you to work harder than you've ever worked before, not to flee and not to panic. And I had hundreds of terrified faces staring back at me. And the company hires people that fit with the overall company ethos, that are open and not afraid to speak up. And so when we hold a normal company meeting, there are hands going up all over the place. It's not like a more typical company meeting where people are quiet or there are canned questions, read off of a sheet. And I got silence back. And
wow.
So I had to figure out, okay, I need these people to stay on because we are nothing without our people, and we need to sell this company and find a home for all of the good journalism that all the other sites do. So I just started a dialogue, which is really what the sites are about, and I stood up there for 2 hours, and I asked myself the first question. I said, okay, if you guys are quiet, I'm going to think about what might be on your minds right now, and so I just came up with the first question and then another question, and then hands started going up. And 2 hours later, we had people smiling and laughing and getting straight back to work. And after that moment, our traffic went up, revenue minus the legal expenses went up. But people really did it, and they trusted when I said, if you do this, I will find a home for this company, and we saved every job. But it was an extraordinary amount of work, really, for everyone.
But then Gawker was shut by the buyer.
Gawker was shuttered by the buyer, which wasn't a surprise. Once you have a huge $140 million judgment, it's seen as a very high-risk property, no matter how strong the defendant's side of the case is.